Father Szymon Sorbian, and I'm for the Archdiocese of Toronto. And today I want to say a few words about myself and about my vocation story. So I was born in Toronto, raised near Hyde Park, and then did my elementary schooling in Mississauga. And during my early years in childhood, my family were regular churchgoers, cradle Catholics, and I believed in God, went through all the religious motions of piety, but I never took my religion that seriously. It was more of an efficacious thing, more of a what I need from God, I get from God, but I never took it more beyond that. But we had a lot of good, close priest friends that would come often to our place, and there was always something that intrigued me about priests and religious too, because we had religious friends. And I can't exactly explain what it was, but it intrigued me, like their lifestyle, their demeanor, the things they talked about, like the things in ministry that they did. I always found some kind of pull to that, but I couldn't really put a finger to it. So I was going through elementary school into high school, and then by the end of high school, one of the fathers actually asked me, well, would you be interested in possibly joining seminary? At the time, I was like, no thank you, come again with that. I had my own ideas. I had ideas of a career, I had a job to get, things to do, places to be. I respected priests and everything, but that was for somebody else. That was not for me. But that did always stay with me, that interaction, and that always had a little bit of that scratching at the heart that lasted through my university years. So I went to university. I studied at the University of Toronto. I did chemistry for 4 years. And as any good university does, it tested my faith life. I really got tested, and I had to decide what I want to do with my life, what kind of man I want to become. So in university, I really had to make the choice to take my faith life seriously. So I started praying more, frequenting the sacraments more, studying my faith more, because I saw there were a lot of currents in university, a lot of competing thoughts, people fighting for attention and ideas. And I knew if I didn't stand on solid ground, then I would be swept up in whatever current would take me. So I was going through university, I was succeeding at what I was doing in chemistry, but there was that scratching that sort of kept coming back about maybe the priesthood as a calling. But at the time, it didn't make any sense. Well, I was doing my undergrad, so like 1 + 1 wasn't equaling 2. So I swept that under the carpet and kept doing what I was doing. So then upon graduating, I got one job on a short contract. Then I got a corporate position downtown. And it was in that downtown corporate position where I had some of my most powerful prayer moments overlooking the CN Tower from my office cubicle. It was there that really God was then asking me, well, you were guiding yourself this whole time. You were telling yourself what you wanted. You were telling yourself what would keep you happy, what would make you happy. Well, now you've got it. I've given you these gifts. Well, is this exactly what it was all meant to be? And that actually, at the time, infuriated me because I thought I had made it, right? I had achieved the goal of my university plans and everything. Yet I was still lacking peace at that time. So, having that split heart and knowing I couldn't live on like that, I decided to engage with the Associates program with the Archdiocese of Toronto to help discern that calling, to help bring peace and closure to my constant battle, this tug of war I was experiencing. And so there was a period of time, over a year, where I was working full time, but then on weekends I would meet with the Associates program, to talk with priests, help discern. And then I would also help out at a local parish at St. Clement's on weekends. And I found out during that time that I was actually having a lot more peace and sort of meaning and fulfillment with what I was doing over the weekends than with my Monday to Friday work, with my office job. And so after this period of assessment and discernment, I was given the application to join the seminary. And then, well, 7 years later, I find myself here today after ordination. And I can say that it was a journey that, well, God draws with crooked lines. At the time, often things didn't make sense. It wasn't the way I would have planned things out. I'm one that's very systematic and methodical, but God has His ways. And so I thank God for everything He has given me, even though at the time things often didn't make sense, and it required from me total surrender and acceptance that in the end it's actually God's way that matters and not my way. So my vocational journey was a long tug of war I had with God of releasing control and letting God actually be the one that dictate my life, not myself thinking what is best for me. And so now I am excited to start my ministry in the Archdiocese of Toronto, to start parish life, to start serving the people of God, and fulfilling that main mission, which is the salvation of souls, which is what this whole journey was, all the training, all the time, formation, everything that we've done. So once again, I thank God with all my heart, and I thank everyone who has supported me through this long process in prayer, in material needs, in friendship. So I thank you all for everything you have done to me, and God bless.